Imagine someone earning $95,000 a year. You walk into their apartment and see a massive television, luxury furniture, and closets overflowing with tags still attached. On paper, they have a great income. In reality, their bank account is nearly empty, and they are exactly 2 missed paychecks away from a total financial crisis. Now, walk into a second apartment, located in the exact same neighborhood. This person earns $52,000 a year. Their space is calm, their furniture is modest, and their closets hold only what they wear. Yet this person has 18 months of living expenses saved in cash, and they easily invest 20% of every paycheck. Most people look at the anxiety of the first earner and assume the solution is a larger salary. The prevailing logic is that financial peace requires making more money. But when paychecks grow, expenses have a habit of growing right alongside them. A raise triggers a nicer apartment, the leasing of a newer car, and more expensive hobbies. The new income is entirely consumed by the new baseline of normal. Financial stability does not actually come from your gross income. It comes entirely from your financial margin, the deliberate gap you maintain between what you earn and what your life requires just to keep running. Ignoring the invisible costs attached to the things you buy is the fastest way to destroy that margin. Furthermore, this graph charts opportunity cost. A $15,000 gym setup locks capital inside metal, destroying its ability to compound in investments over a decade. Certain purchases take this drain a step further through the lifestyle multiplier effect. This happens when buying one specific item forces you to fund an entire ecosystem of mandatory related expenses. If you buy a boat, you cannot simply pay for the boat. You immediately have to buy a trailer to move it. You have to pay monthly storage fees, for a marina slip, secure specialized marine insurance, and eventually purchase a truck with the towing capacity to pull it all. Long before the first of the month arrives, a 6-figure salary has already been entirely claimed by the maintenance of physical possessions. To protect their financial margin against this drain, the moderate earner applies strict defensive metrics. The first tool they use is calculating cost per use. This split-screen visualization shows the math in action. A $400 jacket worn 200 times costs $2 per wear. A trendy $150 gadget used twice costs $75 per use. Purchase price tells you little about actual economic value. They also consistently utilize the replacement test. You look at an item sitting in your closet or on your counter and ask a specific question. If this disappeared today, would I willingly spend my own money to replace it? Items that fail that test are deadweight, kept around purely by inertia. Regularly identifying that deadweight trains your brain to reject novelty, stopping you from spending thousands of dollars upgrading perfectly functional phones and home furniture out of sheer boredom. Relying on raw willpower to stop these purchases will eventually fail. The modern retail environment is deeply engineered to remove friction, making checkout immediate and effortless. Instead of willpower, minimalists design structural defenses. They delete saved credit card information from their browsers, enforce a strict 24-hour waiting period for all non-essential items, and fully automate their investments so money leaves checking the moment they are paid. These are not budgeting tricks. They are automated behavioral shields. They operate quietly in the background, actively defending the financial margin against impulse and marketing. The ultimate psychological defense is establishing a firm definition of enough before your paycheck ever increases. Without that definition, a typical consumer gets a raise and instinctively upgrades their standard of living. They move their own goalposts outward, guaranteeing that their new income feels exactly as tight and restrictive as their old income. By deciding in advance what type of home, vehicle, and wardrobe is sufficient, a minimalist fixes their goalposts in place. Any future salary increases bypass lifestyle inflation entirely and are converted straight into invested wealth. Adopting this math requires letting go of how our culture typically measures success. You stop evaluating wealth by square footage, driveway trophies, and visible consumption. True wealth is measured by optionality. It is the financial power to walk away from a toxic job environment. It is the ability to handle a sudden family emergency without panic, start a new business, or simply take 6 months off without asking anyone for permission. The math always comes down to a single choice. You can own your possessions, or you can let your possessions own you.